All right, it is time for a draw with me video. Hey everyone, it is Shannon, and I'm super excited to be here today and to share with you this video. This is going to be a draw with me video. So just like the journal with me videos, it's a video where we can spend some time together, and in this one we can draw, whereas in the journal ones we can journal. Now, of course, you can draw during the journal ones, and you can journal during the drawing ones. It's totally up to you. It's just sometimes, it's just a way that we can spend some time together in our notebooks or journals or sketchbooks and just hang out together and get to the page. So for today, I'm going to be doing a draw with me, and I will, because I actually know how to do some stuff with the video editing, what I'll do is I will actually insert a picture of what I'm drawing somewhere on the screen. That is a good place to put it, so that you can draw what I'm drawing if you would like to do that. Of course, if you have like plants or a still life or something from your imagination that you would like to draw, you're welcome to that. If you want to do like boxes and circles or cross-hatching or whatever you want to do, you can do. There's no rules here, just an invitation and an opportunity, and so that's what we're going to do. I don't have this like planned out or timed out. I don't know what kind of drawing I'm going to be doing. I just tend to just open and just start, but I will articulate, what I'm looking at and what I'm thinking about, and if I have a particular style of drawing that I'm doing, like if it's contour versus a blind contour versus a gesture or whatever, I'll say what that is, and you're welcome to do that or to do whatever you want, and I'll explain what those things are when I do them. If I do them, I don't really know exactly what I'm going to do. It's been a long time since I've done a video like this. I do have a couple of plants, and I do have a couple of gourds because it is the fall season, and I picked up some gourds. So I have these gourds and another 2 gourds. And yeah, so we'll just see how things go, let's get to it. Let's draw. All right. Oh, and I forgot to say what I'm working with. I did bring, I did pull out some markers of sort of like fall/nature, plus a couple of nothing like the colors in case I wanted that. And then I did pick some pencil crayons, and I have 2 sort of fine liner type things. One's a Staedtler pigment liner, and one is a Papermate Flare, and just a regular ballpoint black pen and mechanical pencil. Okay, so I'm going to start with the gourds, and now that I'm looking at it, it's definitely not the best composition. So I will admit to that. They're both very low. You have 2, you should have 3. That's sort of the rule. But whatever. And I'm just going to start with a ballpoint pen and look at the gourds and just sort of get a sense of the height and the amount of space that they take up. This is normally, I wouldn't even take the time to do this, but because it's a more subtle composition, where things are very similar to each other, I just want to have a good sense. The one on the left is sort of more narrow and goes towards the back, and the one on the right is a bit more rounded, like a smile, even though they kind of feel like they take up the same amount of space. Okay, I'm just going to get to it. I always draw the bottom first, which I honestly don't necessarily recommend, but it is my instinct, just to give a sort of frame. I'm going to draw the one on the left first. I'm just doing this in pen to start. Oh wow, I'm feeling rusty. I noticed the, I don't know what it's called, the end, the part that probably goes to the root. It looks like it's like a 5-sided geometric shape. So I'm starting with that, and then I'm like looking at the orange lines. So I guess I'm kind of doing kind of like a contour drawing. I don't know. And then trying to find the outside of it on the right-hand side. Oh, yeah, no, I'm rusty. Okay, I'm going to stop talking and just kind of, I think I'm just going with a bit of a contour drawing, which is looking at the outline. I'm mostly just trying to understand the shapes and the colors. It's a little rough. Wow, the perspective is way off. It's okay. It's okay. This is like stretching. The first couple of drawings, I feel like they're just like stretching. You're just getting used to, you know, your eyes and your hand talking to each other. Maybe it's been a while, so they're having that awkward, you know, over coffee, like, oh, hi, oh, I talked at the same time you talked. How are you? No, how are you? And then, like, you know, it takes a while to actually get comfortable with each other again. Am I the only one where that happens to? They'll get there. They'll get there. So, oh, and this one, even when my posture changes, I see more, because I'm doing this, it's like sort of like eye view, like eye height, which is probably not smart. Okay, so that one didn't go great. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw 4 boxes at the bottom half of my page to give myself the opportunity just to have a couple of quick sketches, because this is, I feel like this is a very not the unusual thing. So I'm going to do one that's just sort of mostly like a gesture, just sort of trying to fill out just a very quick, messy, all over the place, trying to just fill out what's the space and energy that these 2 items take up. And so it's not about the details, it's about what is it bringing, what is it doing, what is it feeling. I love gesture drawing. It is one of my favorite things in the, like, literally in the entire world. So this ends up looking a bit like the left one kind of looks like a turkey, like a turkey leg. And then the other one feels like a lemon, like a cut lemon, open, like a fancy, you know, you'd see it on like in a nice, like, I don't know, like a fancy fruit situation. Okay, I'm gonna do another one. I'm just gonna like draw lines from left to right that just fill up the space that these 2 items fill up, and the plate. I'll do the plate after. So literally just going from top to bottom, straight lines, trying to understand the space this encompasses. Okay. Oh, for the right one, I'm going to do horizontal lines just so I can differentiate the 2. Ooh, that's a lot more awkward on my body. My body is not on board with that decision, but I am going to, it will not be a long period of time, so I'm going to just encourage it to give it a shot. It's really not working. It's not. My brain's like, this program does not compute that code. I'm definitely having resistance. Oh, okay. And then for the bottom, I'm just going to do diagonal lines again, just to differentiate it. Oh, again, my brain's not quite on board. Oh, I cheated. I stopped looking. And I just sort of filled in what I thought I saw. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to do another sort of... What am I going to do? I haven't done a blind contour. I don't want to do that because I've crossed out these boxes and I don't want to go outside the box. I'm going to do the negative space. So I'm going to pick a spot on one of the sort of edges and then pretend I am drawing the outside, the air beside the object as opposed to the object itself. So this will go around all, like, the mass of everything. I always like these ones. Oh yeah, because they're kind of bumpy. Oh, I kind of ran out of space. Oh yeah. Oh, I totally ignored those wedgie bits. And I'm gonna just go right to the plate and just as if it's one big mass. neck line. All right, oops, I got smudginess. Okay, it's gotta be something else. I think I'll try and now draw it again like I did the first time. Just sort of be like, I am drawing this thing. What does it look like? And see, did those little exercises help me understand this object more? I'm being a bit loosey-goosey on realism. That's okay. This time I'm paying way more attention to this surface because the one on the left especially has lots of, I don't know what you would call it, nodules, sort of? Oh. Oh, and now when I look at the one on the right, I can see that it's sort of what's that called? The five-sided thing. It's because it's behind, you have to give the angle, you have to sort of exaggerate that the back is further away. So you have to make it smaller so that the perspective works. That back one is a really interesting shape, or the back one, the right one, the one that's more yellow. Oh yeah, and it's got some, I don't know if those are nodules or... And I feel like I should do one color one, just because the colors are so nice, but I feel like I'm a bit sort of done on this, and I don't really have more space. Alright, I'll do, this is a sketchbook, it doesn't have to be full scale everything. I don't have a yellow, so I'm going to use green and yellow and pink, and then gray for the plate. I'm not really sure what I'm doing, so alright. I just like working with color. Yeah, this is way more gestural. Oh, when I look at the color, I see it differently, because when I look at the color, I'm not looking at the shape, I'm looking at the lines on the gourds. That's fascinating. Oops, I was using yellow thinking it was a different color. Oh well, I'm just gonna run with it. Okay, so that's darker. Yeah, that's, well, this is just gonna be a zebra backwards situation because I used the markers in the wrong order, so I mean, unless someone's a gourd expert, they're not going to know that I put the darks as lights and the lights as darks. And even if they are a gourd expert, maybe they'll like my interpretation of this particular gourd. So it needs a little green because it's got some... Oh, the green on the yellow, when they combine, they are get quite dark. That's not the best. Like, it's a very noticeable situation. I didn't do shadows at all. Oh my god, that's a whole other world. I was mostly thinking about volume. This one does have some shadows, but I think I'll just get the plate in and call it a day. It's a super lazy plate. I put some green on the plate because the plate's actually green. That's a bit lazy, and that's also because I'm going to date this though because what's the date? Yeah, that was a bit lazy. That's okay. And that was also because I was tired. Like I was sort of like, I kind of feel like I've seen what I have to see here. All right, so I'm going to switch to the plant. I have the plant beside it is an African violet. Which I've had for so long. And again, I'm just going to start, what am I going to start with? I'll start with a gesture drawing. So again, maybe I'm going to separate the page into 4 again. No, I think I'm going to do a contour drawing. So I'm going to follow the outlined edges of the different leaves just because I really like how they look from this particular angle. I know this is sort of like faced away, but I really kind of like that. It's also the plant right now is really happy, and so I've just decided I'm not going to move it unless it looks like it is unhappy. So it doesn't really bother me that I'm mostly seeing the back of the plant because I've had this plant quite a long time. I got it one year during the winter holidays, and I was very surprised that it lasted the season. One of the things about African violets is that you actually don't water them very much, which for me, it took me a while to figure out a good schedule for them because the other plants I had, generally the other plants I have want like a little more water time. So this one now I just water on once on the weekend. And so far it seems pretty happy. It was somewhere else for quite some time too, and it got a little sad. But it also does occasionally flower too, so I mean, I'm happy if it's happy. So I'm just, I'm just gonna let it do its thing with its cute little fuzzy leaves. And it's always a joy, like every once in a while I just see some flowers and it's like totally random, could be any time of year. I have no idea why it ends up flowering, but that's okay. I always share that on Instagram. That is without question one of the I don't even think about it. I take a picture and share it on Instagram because I'm so happy that it is flowering. Now sometimes this is tricky because you got a lot of leaves on top of each other, and there's always that decision of, do I draw every single thing that I see? Do I get a little interpretive? I'm very much I tend to draw everything that I see because I feel like it's there and I'm looking at it, and so even if later my brain doesn't understand what I was doing or that's not the composition I would come up with, at this particular moment in time, that's what I'm looking at. So I just go with that. You don't have to. Everyone gets to make those decisions themselves. But for me, I find some comfort in just following exactly what I'm seeing. Especially when I'm doing this for practice, exercise, just again getting my hand and my brain talking to each other again, or I guess it's my brain and my hand and the page, and then like also the equipment, like like this pen versus that pen and different dynamics and all that kind of stuff. Okay. Because like I have this one, I don't know if you can, like there's one leaf on the far right that's very dramatically horizontal. And it's like, if I was going to draw a leaf, I wouldn't draw it that way because it's like, it's so horizontal. Like you can barely just see its edge. So if you saw that, would you understand it? You know, and here in reality, of course, I understand it, but also, like, in reality, I move left and right, and with that, I understand the difference, like, I understand the volume of the object. One of the things that I would really like to get better at, I got really lazy, and I just drew 2 lines for the stem, like, and not really looked, oh, there's one, see, now there's one leaf on the left that is gotta go. Like, it's too far gone, it's too dried out. Do I draw it? In this moment, I am gonna draw it because it's got a really interesting and different shape, and it's kind of decimated, so it's sad, but it's also true. It's also leaning over the edge of the pot, which is also kind of interesting. I would like to get better at drawing the actual pots. I feel like I never get it right. Like, it's just one of those things that I feel like it's like that finishing touch is drawing what it's in, and then it's like, ugh. Like, I can be okay with how the plant looks, but then what it's in just looks silly. It just doesn't. And I don't know, for me, it's like I haven't had the breakthrough of like bridging what I'm seeing versus what I think I'm seeing. It's just not working. Alright, I think I might do that one in pencil crayon. I have no idea how long this video is. I should have set a timer or something. Or just notated. Because I don't want it to be too long. Alright, I have 3 things that are the same value. That's not smart. This is tough because the greens are mid and light, and the purple is also mid and light. And there's not many darks. Well, I don't know. I don't like that green very much. Are these the same green? No, they're different greens. That is not. Alright, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna start doing some sort of sketchy oh man, I'm not sure what that word is. Like bulking out some of the leaves. Most of the green is on the edges that is like facing away, and then most of the underneath is purple, which was one of the things that makes this particular plant really interesting. And so I'm sort of just bulking in some of the greens. I don't know if that's a good decision. I'm going to go in with a darker green and sort of get some of the edges maybe. Oh, I didn't do that one. And you certainly don't have to be literal. I just found that, for me, I find, like, I genuinely find comfort in it with plants. I have no idea why. Or with anything, to be honest. It also kind of gets you, for me, I think part of it is that you get away with decision fatigue, because, you know, you just look at something and you're like, okay, well, this goes here and that goes here and this connects here and that goes here. You just like, this is what I'm looking at. You know, there might be some decisions that go into which composition, or do you start at the top or the bottom, or those kinds of things, but generally it's just like, this is what this looks like to me. And that can also be interpretive. You know? I feel like that needs more, but I feel like I'm not. Well, I might need a brown to help differentiate some of the purples. Like the what's forward, what's behind. Oh, this is not the right brown for that. Drat. No, it's doing the opposite. Well, that's learning your tools. Alright, that one's just a little fussy. And I feel like this is, I'm going to bring in the pothos because I just really want to draw it. So I'm going to do 2 drawings of this pothos that's in a water, just in water. Oh, I just love these plants. Look at those great edges. I'm going with just a pen, like a felt tip pen, and just looking at these absolutely fabulous edges. Oh yeah, I'm really committing to the line. I'm not making any changes. Once it's down, it's down. Marker is great for that. Oh, I forgot to say this, but if at any point you feel like you want to pause or go back, go for it. Learning your pace is a great thing. Very dramatic diagonals. Oh. This plant has, well, you know, it's in a pot, so I had to, I'll get into some other plant stories on another day, but the leaves are so strong and they're so glossy and they just look like they're doing so well. Unfortunately, the soil was not doing so well, so that's why it's in water. But pothos propagate really well, so I'm not concerned about that. So, but I am sad that I needed to propagate it again. I made a choice that make it so I can't draw this exactly as I see it because one of my perspectives was off. Whoops. Sometimes that happens. I don't often sort of like alter things, but I'm like, if I need to, like, if I want to get it all on the page and the only way to do that is to put 2 things a little bit closer together, then it's like, okay, well, fair play. I feel like that's like efficient use of resources, and I can get behind that. But again, everyone gets to make their own decisions on that kind of stuff. There's no hard and fast rule, and learning what your preferences are and learning what you like both to do and also you like the results is all part of the process. So whether that's being like very realistic versus very interpretive, or a little bit of both depending on the day, you know, nothing wrong with that. Like I'm doing the top of it was a Nescafe jar, and I'm totally not really that. Oh, I messed that up. I really messed that up. I was so committed to all of the other lines, and then I messed up the jar. Yeah, I am not good at that. And it's like, I know what a Nescafe jar looks like. Oh my gosh, craziness. Oops, that's not the date. All right. I think I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to switch the camera and share with you my drawings, and we'll be back in a sec. Okay, so it looks like my spidey sense of timing was pretty good because we're at sort of what is a good amount of a time for a video, at least for me. So looking at how things went, here are my drawings. So that is the first one that I did. And then here are the 4 from splitting into 4. I really like this one. I really like doing this kind of thing. So this was the gesture. This was filling in the space with lines of different direction. This was drawing the negative space. And this was my just sort of like all in draw it at the end. And if you see the difference between this one and this one, I think is really interesting. Because I feel like at this one I knew things a lot better. Although this, I feel like the shape of this is very off and I needed to do something somewhere so that it was more understandable that this was the inside and this was the outside. This outside edge is not great. So I didn't do a lot of work on that one for volume. Although I feel like in this one, it really worked. How dark these lines were in filling in the shape. That was also an easier shape to work with. So that's that. And then flip the page. And then this one, oh, this is my color one I did of that one. It was pretty interpretive. Again, I still didn't nail the shape of that one that looks like a cut onion, not onion, lemon. I said onion, I think, at one point. So I didn't nail that. This one was a lot easier. It was much more like a turkey leg, but it's a very fascinating shape. Where did I put it? Oh, I put it where the pothos was. And then here's the African violets. So this was the contour drawing the edges. And then this was the pencil crayon drawing. Don't feel like I did a hugely great job at getting exactly what it looked like. But I was a little, to be honest, I was already a little tired here. And I feel like even the overall shape, you can see how condensed they all are in this one. And this one, it's a lot opener. But that's also because I think I made some artistic choices to not draw everything. And then there's the pothos. I could draw them forever. I think is it pothos? I think it's called pothos. I love that plant. I love that plant so much. I have lots of cuttings of it like everywhere. And it's all come from the same plant. And I got it many, many years ago as a housewarming gift from a friend. But I love the shape of those leaves. Like, and they're just so and I'm also really, really happy that it's okay, even though the soil wasn't okay. And that's a story for another day. So, but there you go. There's some gourds and some plants. I hope that you enjoyed that. Let me know in the comments if you drew along with me. Maybe let me know which of the three were there three, which of the three compositions you enjoyed the most, or you enjoyed the most drawing, or what style of drawing you did. And also let me know, I was a bit, I tried to provide some context for what I was doing, and you're of course welcome to do it or welcome to do your own thing. So I hope it felt very talky. So I hope it wasn't too talky, and hopefully it was also clear enough in what I was trying to do, but again, you don't have to do what I was doing. I was just trying to provide some context or some options, and I love drawing. I always have, and I love so many different styles of drawing, and so I don't know if I was super clear on that kind of stuff, but again, it's just an invitation to draw. You can do whatever you like, and I hope that you did. And if you drew something else today, I would love to know what that is, or let me know your favorite thing to draw, or if you journaled, let me know that if this was a good accompaniment to that. Anyway, I just hopefully you enjoyed this, and I hope the editing went well. and all of that stuff. So so that is my first again draw with me, I did one a long time ago, many years ago, and hopefully I can do more. It was great to get some time in the sketchbook and at the page, and I hope that you had a good time too. Okay, thank you so much for watching.